Hi everybody. On the day I'm making this video, June 28th, 2017, we're in the 7th Sabbath on the true ancient calendar, entering the window for true Shavuot, the wheat harvest, from the evening of Wednesday, June 28th until the evening of Friday, June 30th. Also, I wanted to let you know that the true biblical appointed times are on my website as well, indigoflower.net. Just choose 2017 True Appointed Times in the menu. I update this every year, so the current year will change obviously, but that page gives a quick rundown on how the calendar works. In this video, let's look at what the Bible actually says about the Sabbath, because the mainstream Christians and Jews are not observing it the way the Bible says to do it. Sabbath in the Bible literally means seventh day. Many Christians and Jews argue over which day of the week this seventh day should be observed. Some say Saturday, others say Sunday, etc. However, those words are not in the original translations of the Bible. Those weekday names are Roman names, and we know that the Bible identifies Rome as the beast. So God's calendar would not use Roman weekdays. That should be obvious, but literally millions of people are observing Roman Sabbath days. The true Sabbath in the Bible is not Saturday or Sunday, it's simply the seventh day. So at first glance, the question may seem to be, the seventh day from what? And the short answer is, the seventh day from the first day of the first month. And we know this for at least 3 reasons. Number 1, for the reason we just stated, it's the seventh day. And number 2, in Leviticus 23 verses 5 through 7, we're told Passover is the Sabbath. Passover, it says, is the 14th day of the first month. Then it says the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts on the 15th and lasts for 7 days. But notice in Exodus 12:18, it says, in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. So unleavened bread actually starts on Passover evening. That means that in Leviticus 23 verse 7, where it says, the holy convocation should be observed on the first day of unleavened bread, it's saying the holy convocation should be observed on Passover. And Leviticus 23:3 tells us the holy convocation is the Sabbath. Therefore, Passover is the Sabbath, and Passover is the 14th day of the first month. In other words, Passover is the second Sabbath of the first month. The first Sabbath of the first month is the 7th day, and the second Sabbath of the first month is the 14th day. Our third confirmation that the Sabbath is based on the biblical calendar and not the Roman weekdays is that number 3, the Feast of Weeks, counts 7 Sabbaths after Passover, and is very clear how those 7 Sabbaths should be counted. In Leviticus 23:10 through 16, it tells us that a sheaf of firstfruits will be waved before the Lord the day after the Sabbath, and on that day, a lamb without blemish will be sacrificed. That lamb, we're told in the New Testament, was Jesus, who was sacrificed on Passover day. So the Sabbath that it refers to is the Passover Sabbath. It's saying the sheaf of first fruits will be waved before the Lord on the day after Passover. And from that day, 7 Sabbaths should be counted, and more specifically, exactly 50 days should be counted. And the 50th day is Shavuot, the wheat harvest. This is also called the counting of the Omer. Omer Day 1, it tells us, is the day after Passover, which in 2017 occurred on the window of May 10th through the 12th. That means Omer Day 7 landed on the window of May 16th through the 18th, which was the Sabbath day. So the new moon occurred on April 26th, and we're not told if the new moon is the first day or if the first visible crescent of the new moon is the first day. So the first day of the first month was either the evening of April 26th to the evening of April 27th, or it was the evening of April 27th to the evening of April 28th. That gives us the 3-day window for each biblical date, and it means that the 7th day from the first day landed on the window of May 2nd through the 4th. That is what established the Sabbath day for this year. Passover was the second Sabbath day of the year on the window of May 9th through the 11th, and then we started counting the Omer. Omer Day 1 was the day after Passover on the window of May 10th through the 12th, and Omer Day 7 landed on the third Sabbath of the year, the window of May 16th through the 18th. That third Sabbath of the year, we are told, is the first Sabbath of the Feast of Weeks. Again, the Feast of Weeks lasts from Passover to Shavuot. The wheat harvest is 50 days from Passover. Day 1 is the day after Passover. Day 7 is the first Sabbath after Passover. Day 14 is the second Sabbath after Passover. Day 21 is the third Sabbath after Passover. Day 28 is the fourth Sabbath after Passover. Day 35 is the fifth Sabbath after Passover. Day 42 is the sixth Sabbath after Passover. Day 49 is the seventh Sabbath after Passover. And day 50 is Shavuot, the wheat harvest. The window for Shavuot in the Northern Hemisphere in 2017 occurs on June 28th through the 30th. However, the Sabbath day has been established, and the window for the Sabbath will occur on Tuesday evening until Thursday evening in 2017, until October 19th, the start of the 7th month. And that is because the 7th month in the Northern Hemisphere is the first month in the Southern Hemisphere. Therefore, a new Sabbath day must be established in both the 1st and the 7th months in order for the calendar to stay in alignment over the whole earth. So we check for the turn of the sun and moon on the full moon in the 12th month. In the Southern Hemisphere, that full moon of the 12th month occurs on October 5th. And we can see that the turn will be complete. The sun will be setting to the left of due west, and the full moon will be rising to the left of due east. That means the Southern Hemisphere will start their first month on the next new moon of October 19th. Their 7th day of their first month will be the window of October 25th through the 27th, and their Passover will be the window of November 1st through the 3rd. Their Omer Day 1 will be November 2nd through the 4th, and their Omer Day 7 will be November 8th through the 10th, and that starts the Feast of Weeks in the Southern Hemisphere, which establishes a new Sabbath day from the window of Wednesday evening to Friday evening. And that Sabbath day will last until the spring of 2018, when the first month starts in the Northern Hemisphere. So those are the 3 reasons we know the Sabbath is not on a Roman weekday. Number one, the Hebrew word means seventh day, not Sunday or Saturday or Wednesday or any other day. Number two, Passover is the Sabbath, and it's on the 14th day of the first month, which is the second seventh day. Number three, the Feast of Weeks counts 7 Sabbaths, of which the first is 7 days after Passover. And finally, the Sabbath day is important because in Exodus 16:29, we're told no one should go out of their place on that day. And in Exodus 31:14 and 15, we're told anyone who does will die. And once we begin to understand that these feast days were prophecies about the future, then that indicates that something dire may occur on a Sabbath day in the future. And Jeremiah 17:27 is an example of this. It says, "But if you will not hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, then I will kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched." So we know the book of Jeremiah is prophecies about the future. So this again seems to indicate that staying in on the Sabbath day is a protection from a future fiery disaster, and it can refer to the earthly city of Jerusalem or the holy city of Jerusalem, which refers to the multitude over the whole earth. Although we are told the multitude does not go through the burning, so my guess is that's referring to earthly Jerusalem when it says the burning will occur on the Sabbath day. But again, the mainstream Jewish people and Christians over the earth are not observing the true Sabbath day, so they won't know. This final burning of Babylon may also be represented by the burnt offering that the prophetic texts tell us will occur on the Sabbath day, as explained, for example, in Ezekiel 46:12. I just want to point out in Matthew 24:21, Jesus says those in Judea should pray that their flight will not occur on the Sabbath day. However, that flight that he refers to is the flight of those in Judea after the abomination of desolation stands in the holy place and starts the Great Tribulation. That event occurred in 685 CE. We found that from studying Daniel chapter 11. It's very specific. So the abomination stood in 685 CE, and the tribulation represents a 1260-year period that many old scholars predicted would be ending now. So the flight of those in Judea before the tribulation does not refer to the escape of the multitude that occurs after the tribulation. In other words, it does not refer to the falling of the stars, which is the asteroid impact. So when Jesus says to pray that their flight does not occur on the Sabbath, he's not saying that the burning of Babylon will not happen on the Sabbath. He's saying the flight before the tribulation will not happen on the Sabbath. So that's a different event because we know the burning of Babylon happens at the end of that tribulation. The event after the tribulation is different, and it is possible that that event, the burning of Babylon, the falling of the stars after the tribulation, could occur on the Sabbath day. And the burnt offering on the Sabbath day may refer to the future burning of Babylon. It's not clear whether that is the case or not, but it does make the warning that those who leave their houses on the Sabbath day will be burnt. However, this would not apply to the multitude because we're told the multitude will not be burned. So it does seem important to be aware of the true Sabbath day window, especially during these times at the end of the tribulation of the 1260 days. For more information on the true biblical calendar and the entire biblical timeline, you can go to indigoflower.net or click on the links here. Thank you to those who are making this work possible. If you liked this video, please consider providing support. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you next week.